How's it going, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Adrian here for Digital Dojos, and today we picked up what can only be described as a Grail camera. I want to open this video by stating transparently the fact that do I have the skill set or knowledge to utilize a camera like this to the fullest? I'll be honest, the answer is no. Did I want this camera? Am I very fortunate that I have the means and ability to purchase a camera like this? 100%. And at the end of the day, this has always been a Grail in that I have always wanted to own a Leica and shoot with a Leica. The very first DSLR I ever bought, I still have. This is my Canon Rebel T4i. I bought this back in Okinawa, Japan, years and years ago, when I was, getting more heavily into YouTube and investing in like proper, higher def equipment, right? Back when I started on YouTube in 2006, 240p and 360p was like the quality of videos we were putting out. I remember buying my first JVC Vario HD camcorder back in the day on Black Friday to like make the upgrade to like 720p and eventually 1080p quality. I remember having to do like the crazy like tags you would put in the YouTube thing to like allow for a widescreen and 16:9. I've always been obsessed with like equipment and trying to get the best possible quality within my means. And whether that was a $100 Orbit AF Logitech webcam that I could afford with my allowance at the time after saving up, or when I started to make a little bit of money from doing this thing called YouTube, I would turn every dollar I would make back into getting better equipment. When it came to the world of DSLRs and all of that, not a lot of people back then were using this for like actual YouTube content, right? Back then, content creators and things like that wasn't really a job, and these were more used for like photographers and whatnot. And again, slowly I invested in some of this equipment, and then when I moved here to the States, I leaned heavily into shooting with Sony. My a6400, my a7C, and got really heavy into the Sony ecosystem. And again, all cameras that I've loved and enjoyed using and serve their purpose for what they do for creating content like this online and making it as easy as possible. But even with those last two cameras that I just mentioned, while I bought the a7C to kind of be my main shooter and hybrid, it really relegated itself to being kind of camera B and being used for overhead shots and being here in the studio. And I found, having equipment ready to go, ready to shoot and just kind of sitting on these like tripods or stands has been, a big part of having the studio, making it easier to shoot content. I eventually got cameras like the Osmo Pocket 3 here for like kind of everyday lifestyle vlog type of content and for traveling. But that all being said, every time I've kind of wanted to foray into the photography side or kind of shooting still images, I've obviously relied on things like my Sony's trips, and of course, like everybody else, the phone that I have in my pocket, given how great these cameras have gotten over time, and for a lot of people are their main shooter. But at the end of the day, I am a gearhead, much like this channel, and the reason I got started on YouTube, it was to check out cool technology products. And back when I started in 2006, little did I think that I would ever get to be touching some of these like high-end equipment, or let alone owning them. I've always wanted to try or push the limits of the best equipment. And when YouTube was my main job and content creation was the main thing, even back then, I couldn't even fathom affording some of this equipment and being able to, have the opportunity to try it out. And as with a lot of these mirrorless or cameras or DSLRs or different cameras I bought over time, video was always the main focus. Video was always the biggest thing because that's what I did here on YouTube. That's what made me a living. That's what was a part of the business. And photography and all of that was always second. And again, you would default to the simplest means. And again, that was always the phone that I had in my pocket. That is until today. where I stopped by a store by the name of Camera West here in San Francisco. They had just recently, not even fully opened, but are in their soft opening phase of their new location in Union Square. I believe they're previously in the East Bay, if I'm not mistaken. And I had seen some of the posts on, or Leica's post on the San Francisco store and like where their resellers and authorized dealers are. And I just happened to be in the area, and as I just implied, we picked up a brand that I've always wanted to have the ability to own. Anytime I've seen things shot on social media, where they have just really cool, the photo, the aesthetic, outside of just the LUTs, oftentimes the look and aesthetic I've always gravitated towards is a Leica. And here we have none other than the Leica Q3. This is a beast of a camera. This is a brand new Leica Q3. And honestly, there's a lot of debate as to, do I even need a Leica? Do I want a Leica? The imposter syndrome of like jumping from something like these Sony A7s and things I'm shooting with to something like this is just a huge step up. And I'm going to be underutilizing it to start in the beginning and have to learn a lot about this system and how to shoot on it. And again, I am by no means a professional. I'm not doing this for a living. I'm purely a hobbyist and enthusiast, and I don't need to get this camera. And yet, here we are. This is the Q3. I had walked in thinking that I wanted to look at the M11s, potentially the Q2s. Camera West is a store that sells both used and brand new. I actually always wanted to get a Leica in Japan, like on a trip. I thought it would mean a lot, and it would be a main reason because I always wanted to shoot with a Leica on my like trips just for my own memories. But this store had both Q2s, they had some Q3s, and I was very fortunate to be able to get a Q3 brand new in stock. So I had messed around with a couple of the models. I had gotten to shoot with the Q3 at the store. Very cool showroom. They let you walk around, test out the camera. And just holding something like this. Like if you've never held a Leica, the craftsmanship, it's like a nice watch, for example. A lot of people do this thing where you put on a nice watch and you kind of shake your wrist just because like you're not used to that kind of weight and feel of something. This is by far, when it comes to cameras, like the heftiest like piece of technology in when it comes to a camera that I've held and used. And this can do video by all means. This could shoot video, I think up to 8K if I'm not mistaken. But this is a beast of a camera, but a lot of the intention around this is going to be around photography. And I'm really excited to be able to dive into the Leica ecosystem, as pricey and crazy as it is, and just have the opportunity to own something like this. I have this on the not an aftermarket, but like a third-party strap right now that I just picked up at the store today. It comes in here with your standard strap, like you have your Leica quality certificate here, to make sure it was QC'd, and they do that product quality check, by a human. And then underneath here, you have all your user manual, your USB-C braided cable. You get your standard Leica like leather strap, which a lot of people also love, but Leica also does their own branded rope kind of nylon strap that I really wanted, but unfortunately the store was like sold out. So something I'll probably look at in the future. I ended up going with this third party brand called Owl, just because I really liked how the black and red matched the aesthetic of the camera itself. And yeah, like I said, I'm just excited to kind of take this for a spin, get familiar with this, get used to shooting with something like this, and actually use it, right? Like I don't want to baby this thing as crazy as of a camera as it is. This is going to see a lot of trips in the future. I'm going to probably get a lot of accessories for this in the future. But yeah, here you have it. This is, again, the Leica Q3. So I've been messing around a bit with the camera. It's also actually truthfully the following day, and just been shooting indoors, nothing crazy. I want to kind of take this out for a spin either today or in the upcoming week. But just kind of messing around more and getting more familiar with the Leica ecosystem. I'm actually updating the firmware right now because I didn't realize it wasn't on the latest 4.0 firmware, and I know firmware can matter a lot for cameras like this. I know there are some issues early on with the release that had to be fixed through firmware. So I just want to make sure it's on the latest software update. With that, I also got the Leica photo app just to allow me to more easily access like the gallery, and you can like sync your photos over from the camera itself over Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to your phone, so it makes it easy for like upload and storage. I also want to install some of like the Leica LUTs. There you go, it's done. So I can go ahead and restart this so that I can kind of mess around with those on camera. But yeah, just kind of dialing in some settings. I'm also kind of adjusting some of like the custom buttons, kind of looking at some like recommended settings guides just to kind of make life, easier and quality of life easier. I'm going to go ahead and the camera app is already set up, so we should be good there. We don't need to because we're already paired, so I should be able to skip that for now. And then, yeah, I wanted to kind of go in and adjust some of the kind of default settings. I know, for example, some settings you can adjust things like, again, like I talked about the Leica looks. You can adjust things like the EVF's like frame rate. And honestly, it's a lot about me just getting used to the menu and navigating the system because I'm so used to Sony's menu, and also just this kind of this flip out screen. I want it to like articulate around because I'm so used to my Sony cameras. But again, just kind of getting used to all the physical aspects as well as the, of course, like software. This is an end game camera for me when it comes to photography, and it's something that I'm gonna again push myself to use, especially after you drop north of $6,500+ on a camera like this. Again, I'm still the same kid who started this YouTube channel back in 06 who was just enamored by technology as a whole. I think sometimes in my journey of creating content, I have gone jaded by, I remember when I was testing out $20 cameras and $20 webcams and point and shoot cameras and the flip Vado HD camera or whatever it was called back in the day. And now having the ability, the position in life to afford and say own something like this and add it to my repertoire of gear, very, very cool. Goes a long way. I'm really looking forward to kind of getting some first impressions on this and kind of getting some photos out of this and continuing to learn more and more about Leica as a whole when it comes to this ecosystem. I understand a lot of people are going to have some thoughts about jumping to a camera like this, but this is an end game camera for me. I truly believe that, and I think that this is going to be something that lasts me years and years and years, and I'm excited to have my Q3 in my possession. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I look forward to shooting with this more, bring you further first impressions after I've actually used it, quite literally just unboxed it. So maybe we can cut to some first impressions after I've taken this for a spin a bit. And then long term, I plan on getting a review of this from just a hobbyist enthusiast perspective, not a professional, not somebody who shoots for a living or any of that, just somebody who decided to spend their hard-earned money on something that they've always wanted and maybe felt like they didn't deserve, but at the end of the day, here we go and here we are. Thanks for watching.